Hi, I'm Hannah Ladd-Jones and welcome to this week's MASTS Cast, the weekly online update video about what's been happening in the MASTS community this week and information you should know about. If this is the first time you're joining us for a little while, then you would have missed last week's premiere of the MASTS Annual Science Meeting teaser. This was a short video I created which contained information about when the MASTS Annual Science Meeting is going to happen and the fact that it is going to be happening online. So if you're interested in the video, please check out the link that is above this video and you'll be able to find out where we're going to be releasing information on how you can be a speaker and how you can participate in the next coming weeks. So keep an eye on the MASTS website and also join us on Twitter or LinkedIn for more information if you use social media more. In this week's edition, I chat to Bernadette Moloughney from Scottish Government about Scottish Government's Climate Week and how you can get involved if you are a researcher and want to communicate about your work to government officials and get them interested in what you're doing and also to provide your perspectives on some things that they're doing. We also have an update from Mark James about the SMMR programme at the end of this video, so please stay tuned and watch this video to find out more from that. Last week's webinar in the MASTS 2020 series was from Dr. Hermione Coburn. She presented a talk titled Discovering the Deep, Public Engagement Outcomes and Legacy from the Atlas Project. If this is a talk that interests you and you would like to watch it, please check out the link that is below this video and you'll be able to see it there along with its Q&A session that I had with Hermione afterwards. Next week's MASTS webinar is actually a quickfire one where we have 4 10-minute talks from PhD students from either the MASTS grad school or the Super DTP programme. The talks are from James Rimmer, Coralie Hunt, Jack Sheehy and Liam Godwin. There's going to be a live Q&A session afterwards with these PhD students, so if this is something that you would like to participate in or see what they're going to talk about, please register using the link that is below this video as well. 2nd of September is our last webinar, so for these upcoming talks, please make sure you register, and if you're interested in presenting a webinar, please let us know. We're going to be picking up our webinar series at the end of this year, beginning of early 2021, so if there's something that you've got in the pipeline that you would like to talk about with the MASTS community in a webinar series, please let us know and we'll be able to contact you later this year about that too when we start to pick up the webinar series. Now, even though our webinar series is ending on the 2nd of September, there is still the opportunity for you to talk about your work. On the 14th to the 18th of September, Scottish Government is organising its Climate Week, and Marine Scotland has contacted MASTS asking for speakers. These are going to be online talks about 20 minutes long where you can communicate about your research and your perspectives about climate and things that are currently happening to Marine Scotland officials and wider Scottish Government officials as well. This is a great opportunity for you to just showcase your work and actually interact with those in Scottish Government. I chatted to Bernadette Moloughney from Marine Scotland about the opportunity and how you can get involved.
Yes, hi Hannah, thanks for having me. So Climate Week is an opportunity for Scottish Government to display a little bit of the good sustainable practices that we currently are doing and get the word out about what more people could be doing. We being the environmental champions and the environmental management team decided to try and put together some online program this year because it wouldn't be possible probably due to COVID restrictions to organize anything in person this year. So we were hoping to try and engage people that way and get some events such as, whereas in person you might be able to do things like bike rides or beehive inspections in Victoria Quay or in some of the other offices where we have bees, trip out to the wildflower meadow, those kind of things we just probably can't do this year. So we're hoping to try and spread the word a bit more about what kind of climate change science is currently happening, and we're hoping that the MASTS community might be able to help us out with that a wee bit.
Yeah, so what kind of opportunities could MASTS get involved in that assists communicating about climate change research in Scotland to Scottish Government?
Well, we would love to be able to provide some kind of webinars, fairly short, snappy, informative sessions to Scottish Government staff, to a general audience. So the idea that we currently have is to have a different category, a different strand for each day of Climate Week, yes, which would be biodiversity, travel, waste, energy, and water. So we'll probably categorize the different presentations into those categories and hopefully generate a wee bit of discussion after
So for those people who are interested in potentially doing a webinar, the audience they can expect is not just people from Marine Scotland, but people from Scottish Government. So as you said, the talks need to be quite broad, easily accessible for anyone who in Scottish Government is interested in one of those 5 disciplines you've just mentioned.
Yep. Again, just something that would be exactly quite accessible, and probably not the audience that MASTS folk might be used to delivering to, but I think there's so much fantastic research happening at the moment, things like blue carbon and renewable energy. I think people would be really interested to hear more about that. So hopefully you guys will help us to facilitate that.
If this is an opportunity that you would like to participate in, please drop us an email at masts@standrews.ac.uk and we'll be able to pass your information on to the relevant people who are organising Climate Week. It's a great opportunity, and if you want to put your work out there and potentially interact with those in policy, please consider this opportunity. There is also time to register for a webinar that is happening on the 13th of July at 1 o'clock. This is the beginning of the webinar series from the Marine Social Science Network, and this first webinar is going to be with Sarah Young from WWF UK, and she's talking about the pioneer programs that happened in North Devon and its implications for marine management over in that area. So if this is something that interests you, please check out the link that is below this video. It's on 1 o'clock on the 13th of July. And now a postdoc opportunity at Aberdeen University. This is a NERC funded position with Paul Fernandez and is looking at fisheries acoustics and is involved with the research project Insight 2. The deadline is the 8th of August this year, so if this is an opportunity you're interested in and you have knowledge of marine ecology and underwater acoustics, then please consider this. They are looking for someone also with potentially experience in underwater acoustic techniques as well. Links for more information and who to contact if you have any inquiries is below this video. And lastly, just before we get to the SMMR update, the MASTS Coastal Forum is looking for participation from PhD students and early career researchers in its steering group. The steering group meets up about 3 to 4 times a year, and they set research agendas, look for new ways to collaborate, and also target knowledge exchange within the MASTS community and outside the MASTS community as well. If you'd like to get involved and boost your CV, please drop us an email at masts@standrews.ac.uk and we'll be able to point you in the right direction about how you can get involved. And now an update from Mark James about the SMMR programme since the closure of the expression of interest deadline.
Hello and welcome to what is a fairly dreek evening here in not so sunny Fife. This is a quick update on where we are with the Sustainable Management of Marine Resources programme. And many of you that have submitted notifications of intent to submit will be awaiting responses to that, and we can now confirm that we have recruited 8 policy stakeholders from DEFRA, Marine Scotland, Welsh Government and the Northern Irish Executive, and they have provided us with feedback on all 70 of the notifications of intent to submit that were submitted. Of that, we know that there were probably 500 named researchers involved in those outline proposals, and also something like 43 different organisations involved as well. So it's been a massive response. It's taken a while to process all of those notifications, and our policy stakeholders have done a great job in coming back to us with 2 forms of response. The first is generic and quite detailed, and it refers to all proposals, and so there's a message there for everybody to take home, and that information will be published early next week once UKRI have seen it and approved it, and that will be available to everyone who has submitted an NOI and published on the SMMR website. We will also be publishing or sending directly back to each individual lead applicant any responses or any feedback that we've had on their specific proposal from those people in the various policy divisions. Once that's been done, we expect you to sort of consider in detail what's been suggested in the generic response and also in the more specific responses, and once you've had a chance to digest that and discuss it with your project partners, to then perhaps contact the champions and take your projects to the next stage depending on the advice and feedback that you've been given. I suspect that some will look at those responses and perhaps consider whether their application actually fits with the SMMR programme. Others will look at it and realise that perhaps there is quite strong policy relevance for the work that they're proposing and quite strong policy support. And once that information has been considered, then come back to us, talk to us, find out what the next steps might be for your proposal. It may even be that some of you will look at the information that's come back and recognise that there may be a number of competing proposals in the same research space, and it might be worth thinking about how you could join forces or perhaps share information between yourselves and those other proposals in ways that will help you to collaborate and strengthen your respective proposals. But please contact us as soon as you've considered the information that we'll send out to you, and look forward to speaking to you again soon. Thanks, bye-bye.
That's everything for this week. Please check out us on Twitter, on LinkedIn if you want to receive any more updates from the MASTS programme, and also just keep an eye on the MASTS website about the annual science meeting as well. Stay safe and have a great weekend.